Good afternoon, Mr. Hinz. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a cool setup.
So the first question people want to know is, how long have you been teaching at Illinois Lutheran?
Well, let's see, 2001, so 24 years ago. Could still remember it. I was teaching up at western suburbs of a school called Resurrection Lutheran Aurora, still there. And I can still remember the day I got the call to teach here. It was a night where we had just got done putting the kids to bed. And we just gotten home from church. It was Monday, Thursday evening. And I got a phone call from Mr. Archer around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And definitely not something you'd expect after Monday, Thursday of Holy Week. To say, we want you to consider coming to Crete to be our teacher in 8th grade and to be a coach. And so I got it then, and it didn't take long for, probably a few weeks afterwards, I decided to accept the call and to come down here and start teaching down here. First year was 8th grade, homeroom. It was coach a couple of sports. It was run the grade school athletic department. And over the years, the call has changed a lot. And so now I'm doing running the whole entire athletic program, co-curriculars, trying to take a step back from coaching so I can concentrate on that part of my job. And still teaching PE classes, which I like, and still teaching. This year I picked up Intro to Bible for our new kids so that they learn how the basic stories of Jesus. And then we're also doing computer apps as a sophomore. So those last two classes I just picked up this year and really enjoy doing them. So, yeah.
So the second question is, who was your favorite teacher as a student and why?
Okay, good question. Are we talking grade school, high school, or college?
Any.
Any. Like all-time favorite?
Yes.
All-time favorite. Wow. I would have to go with, in college, it was a man by the name of Professor Chuck Hussman. He was our football coach. He showed us a lot of love to his players. He showed us that you can love on your players by being, kind to them. One moment, I could always have a good conversation with them about life, and he would be there to show that to me. In practice, he could joke with you 1 minute, and then when he needed to, get in your face and kick your rear end the next minute. And we call it the tough love. And he was definitely good at both, definitely knew how to balance both. He taught me a lot about commitment, what it takes to do extraordinary things. He just set the standards high for our teams, and we did about as well as we possibly could. I think if you look back on those teams, we had not a lot of players, not a lot of talent, but we were able to win some ball games and be successful. So always enjoyed that from him.
So the third question is, what are your favorite things to do in your free time?
Well, I like to golf when I can. My wife and I enjoy camping. We've been doing that for about 20 years. The equipment has changed over the years. We started when our kids were really young. Basically, my youngest just got done getting the training wheels off her bike before we took our first trip, and that first trip was with a tent and with all of our cooking equipment. And by the end of that trip, we decided, you know what, if we're going to continue doing this, we need to get something that's a little bit better, like we can sleep off the ground. And so then we started to get ourselves involved with travel trailers and pop-ups, not in that order, but kind of graduated up to what we have now. We still enjoy camping a lot together, and we enjoy going to different places around the country. So we've taken as far as Florida, we've taken it to Michigan, we've taken it to South Dakota, we've camped out there as well. So we're pretty well versed in the travel with camping, and we enjoy it. So.
The fourth thing is, what inspired you to become a teacher?
Well, I would say my dad was a teacher for 41 years in our schools. He taught for 27 of those at the Lutheran high school that we lived at. It was Luther High School. It's still there. It's in La Crosse area of Wisconsin, west side. He showed through his example what it means to be a faithful called worker. He taught a lot of different classes over the years in those 27. And I believe if I look back on everything, I think he coached about every sport that was imaginable there, except for volleyball. I think he did tennis, he did golf, he did track at one time, not at the same time, but he also did some football, he did basketball. Girls, he spent a lot of time with the girls' high school program. He led them to a state tournament berth in my senior year, which was pretty exciting. For 3 years, he kept running up against a team in the sectional final right before state that he kept losing to, and finally my senior year, his team finally overcame and defeated them, and we were able to go to state, which was a really big deal for our school to do that. And he coached some boys basketball before that. Like I said, he just did a lot of coaching, and just basically whatever the school asked him to do, he would kind of do that. So that's what he's the one that really inspired me to do this work and work with young kids, and to spread the love of Jesus through sports and through the classroom. So I would say he is the biggest one.
So on another note, who are some people who impacted your life?
I would say my coaches throughout. I had some good grade school coaches, great coaches in high school, great coaches in college that just really showed they cared about you first of all as a human being, cared about you as a player, and then and tried to show that in how they taught you. Are there times where they got after you? Absolutely, when you needed it. Are there times when they were there for you when you needed some help and guidance? They were there, and that when you needed it. And I still look up to those men there, as many of them are retired now and no longer teaching, but still keep in touch with them throughout the years, and really thank them for what they did, because we don't always have it figured out as a high school kid. I sure didn't have that. And if it wasn't for people like them that would sit there and patiently work with us and to deal with our shortcomings and to address our mistakes, then we can learn from it and grow and become the adults and the Christians they know that they wanted us to become. So, yeah.
What do you think is the most favorite class you've ever taught?
Favorite class? Wow. They're all good. I enjoy all of them. PE class is what I studied for, so that's something I really enjoy doing. When I first got the call here, that's what I did for grades 5 through 8, and I really enjoyed it. And then slowly but surely worked up my way up through the high school ranks. First started with freshmen, and then as other teachers who had those classes, they left, so then I took over that class. So now I have 7 through 12 here in this building. This year, with serving with a new Intro to Bible class with the juniors and seniors and the international students that are in there that are learning about Jesus and hearing about Jesus for the first time, that's always a joy and a pleasure to watch them grow in their faith, as many of them have been, and it's great to see the light bulb come on for them as well. And the other class I'm doing is the computer apps class, which we're trying to impart some wisdom on them, on our sophomores, so that they can better handle things not only in the classroom but also in life. We talk about a lot of subjects that can help them throughout their journey of life, and hopefully they can take it beyond the classroom and learn from it, and hopefully they can learn and grow from that experience. So I don't have a non-favorite. So taught them many things over the years. I can tell you what I'm not good at teaching. Like art would be number one. I had to teach art in the grade school. That was a challenge at times. You can only do stick people so many times. You can only do 2-point perspective so much. You got to expand the horizons. But art was not one of my favorites to do, because I just didn't know how to do stuff and know how to teach it properly. So that one was probably the one that stuck out the most. That was tough for me to do. So,
where did you serve in the military, and what branch did you have?
Well, it was the United States Naval Reserve. I enlisted in January of 1990, as I was halfway through my senior year. And I left for 2 days after graduation. I went to Great Lakes, the naval base up at Great Lakes. It's about 10 minutes from Great America. You probably see the signs going into Wisconsin. There's a naval base there. At the time, I had the option. I could have gone to San Diego, which would have been a good option because the weather there is so much nicer. I had the option to go to Orlando, which would have been really brutally hot. That would have been tough. There's no air conditioning in those barracks. But I chose Great Lakes because it fit best with the program. I could get home easily to do that, to come home afterwards. Being in the reserves, you had to sign a 6-year commitment starting from your enlisted date, which meant that you had to do 1 weekend a month, and then 2 weeks out of the year active duty, you had to go somewhere. Had some great places that I actually got to go for those 2 weeks. 3 of which went to Norfolk, Virginia. One was just on base, that was fine. Was on the USS John F. Kennedy, which was a huge aircraft carrier, nuclear class. Quite impressive to be on that machine, and I trained to be a cook. And so when you were on board a ship, you had to be responsible for all 3 meals. If the ship went underway, you'd be basically on duty 24 hours on, 24 hours off to work, because many people who worked on ship, then when it was underway, I mean, you had 6,000 people on ship on those aircraft carriers, which meant you were serving, there was 3 different places to eat, so you would probably serve about 2,000 at a meal. You learned very quickly how to produce a quantity amount of food. I wouldn't say quality, but quantity was a big issue, just trying to feed that many people. It was quite eye-opening to see how exactly that got done on ship. The equipment that was used was pretty phenomenal. You wouldn't see this even in a commercial kitchen for some of the things that they had to cook with. And so I did that. I did Norfolk, Virginia 3 times. The other time we were down in Jacksonville, Florida. I was on a Aegis cruiser, which was very much a smaller ship, very fast. I think it would go up to 40 miles an hour, 40 knots, they called it. It was quite fast. And we set sail from Jacksonville and ended up at Yorktown in Virginia, and ended up from there going back to flying back to La Crosse, Wisconsin. And then there was one time, my favorite place that we ever had. It was always a great story. That one year we were assigned to a hospital corpsman group, and that group had to go to Hawaii, to Pearl Harbor for 2 weeks. And it just so happened to be in February, where it's 80 degrees out in Honolulu, Hawaii, whereas you're stuck up in Wisconsin or Minnesota in going to school, that it was like 30 below. So to take 2 weeks off, and when the government says you're going there for your 2 weeks, you can't really argue with them, and I kind of really didn't want to argue with them on that one. I had to miss about 2 weeks worth of class. I had to get a lot of stuff done before leaving, had to get caught up with a lot of stuff after coming back, but it was definitely worth the time to, you could say you're at the Hawaii sub base there at Pearl Harbor, and do some sightseeing. We did some looking around the places. We went to the Arizona Memorial, which is really a moving place. It tells the story about how the Arizona was attacked at Pearl Harbor, and how the ship was lost within minutes because of the direct attack by the Japanese. But it was really a great experience. One of my favorite places that I went to be stationed at for 2 weeks. So it was good.
So what would you say your favorite thing is about Illinois Lutheran?
I would say most favorite thing is it's the family atmosphere that we have. By the end of your first year, you should know every kid in your school as a student. You should get to know everybody. You should know everybody who they are by face and name. When I went to Luther High School, we were at about 250, and you could know your own class by the end of your first year, and you kind of know most of the kids in the other classes, especially the ones that went out and played sports. But here you can get to know everybody that's here, and you can get to know a lot of people. And the more people can get involved with things, you get to form friendships that last a lifetime. And so, yeah, my favorite thing here is just it's a family atmosphere between students and teachers, teachers and families, and even faculty amongst ourselves. We're a close-knit group. We really get along well. We handle things well together, and we're working together to bring the best product forward for Illinois Lutheran that our community can be proud of and can be a part of. So that's my favorite thing about being here. So
What would you say strengthens your faith?
I would say, well, my wife and I, we've always made church a top priority. Every Sunday, even when we go away on camping trips, we're finding a way to get connected to a church. Now with technology the way it is today, it's very easy just to sit at a campfire and watch a service somewhere. Or if we're driving home from our kids when we get done visiting them, and we can watch a church service on our way home. That's a great faith strengthener. We spend some time during the nights, reading devotion together. When we go on a trip, she shares some podcasts that she's been listening to, and some episodes that she's been working on, and just it's very much that's the strength of our marriage is our bond in Christ. There's a Bible passage that talks about a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken, and that's so true. That when you have Christ in the center of your marriage, you have a very successful a chance for it to be successful. And a lot of other issues that you may have and things you got to deal with throughout your marriage can kind of be dealt with in light of Christ.
So for the final question, what is something many people don't know about you?
Okay. Well, you ready for a good one?
Mm-hmm.
I used to play the organ. I took organ lessons in college. I bet you didn't know that, right? No? Not at all, huh? So yeah, when you go to Martin Luther College, you're expected to pass at least what they call the Piano 2 exam, which basically gives you a basic block chording or playing scales or playing simple chords when you're playing along, because they expect all of their teachers to be able to play in the classroom or for chapel, right? Now, that's the bare minimum. I was able to do that right away because I had basic keyboarding skills. And then after my first year up there, I said, well, I can kind of delve into the organ a little bit and see how that works. And I had some really patient music instructors when it came to the organ. My first one that I had, he knew I played football, and it was Professor Edward Meyer, who always told me, I'm so glad that you're trying to learn the organ because I know you play football, and football's a tough guy sport, but you're out here trying to play the organ, and you got your organ shoes on, you're trying to work on the fingering and the footwork, and that was all. He had nothing bad to say about how I was trying to get the work done like that. But it just came to a point where I was, after my 3rd year of taking organ lessons, that my ceiling was reached with just being able to do basic hymns. And by basic hymns, I mean like the one they start you off with is Glory Be to Jesus. If you ever heard that hymn before, you'll understand it's not much of a range of notes. A lot of our Lenten hymns that we sing during this time of year don't have a lot of range, so that's the ones they really start you on because they're easy, so to speak, right? The footwork on the because you do the bass line, the bottom line of the notes, that goes with your feet on the pedals on the organ. And so you're learning the technique of rocking your foot or replacing your foot so that you can keep playing the bass notes and trying to keep your fingers together. And let's put it this way. When I got done at the end of my time at Martin Luther College, my music instructor, it was a man by the name of Professor Ron Schilling. You can kind of see him on the corner of your eye or in the mirror of the mirror, because the organ had a mirror on it, rear view mirror on it. You can kind of see him kind of cringing as I'm playing. He couldn't even sing along with it. And so we came to a mutual conclusion that this will not be a part of your call ever. Instead of trying to put that on someone saying, hey, you get to play organ at our church. And it's like, yeah, it would take me 2 months to figure out one Sunday to do all that, and plus all the liturgy. So it was something I was not terribly disappointing in continuing in. But I did try it, and I just didn't have the physical abilities to do what like a Mr. Whitty can do with the keyboards. So I'm very happy to let Mr. Whitty do all that work at our school instead of having to put me on the keyboard. So yeah. So you had anything else or?
No, thank you for giving us your time.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. So great job. Thank you for coming. Thanks for having me.